You know what I didn't change? The thing we fixed for Kimchi. We forgot to fix for here. Hold on. I can probably solve that real quick. Logins, unclaimed items. We won't worry about that right now. Well, I don't need to press, I think, Shift or Tab, so I don't think that should affect us that badly. Hold on. Let's Alt Tab. There we go. That might prevent anything from coming up. I'm not entirely sure. There you go. So we're I think still finishing. We're about to finish the advanced military, and then we'll be free of the starter tutorials. Technically, you could just leave and go and do whatever you wanted from the start, but these are just arguably some of the best stuff to start with. It really does help. So I really wouldn't skip them. Ideally. And here we got missile launchers. Okay, so we were preparing on this mission. What is this? Warfare is common. Okay, so... Oh, is this one we just have to follow instructions. So, let's go ahead and switch back to our other ship. Our really specialized Merlin. Or actually, hold on. Let's move all this iron into there. Pretty much everything we don't want to leave in there. And it already has, this has some iron charges, the other one has some tungsten charges. That should be fine. Alright. So let's switch over to the Merlin as the active, make active. And pretty much all we need to do is go straight to the place and then come right back. Because you'll see what I mean when I say that. Because it's trying to show you how fleet commanders work. That's something that very likely if you join up in a corporation, they'll probably give you their own kind of idea of how they want that to go. While we're actually traveling, let's go ahead and... Oh, did I not accept it? You know what? I may not have accepted it.
Docking permission requested. Docking request
As goofy
accepted.
as that would be, I think we did not accept it. Yeah, we didn't. We delayed it, I guess. Or declined it. Accept. Okay. Okay, so now let's go. I guess we must have declined it. We can actually do a quick check, because if you lose relations with a job giver, that might be why it happened. So let's check our interactions. There, Caldari State, or actually we're School of Applied Knowledge. We could even go with agent and see if it went down. I don't see it going down, so I think I don't think we're in any trouble there. Oop. Okay, so if we declined it, we didn't decline it enough to cause trouble. So let's undock. And while we're undocking, I want to check how the stream is running. I know whenever I check for Eve, it doesn't seem to enjoy it. So the sound seems to be working. All right, cool. It seems like it's doing all right considering. Normally the bit rate tanks whenever I check the stream feed. All right, while I'm playing Eve, I don't know why. I think that's just me. I don't think anyone else I've seen has any trouble with it. I'm guessing because it's an online game. That might have something to do with it. And a lot of the other games we do are single player. It's something around in there that's causing it to do that. So let's go ahead and activate this gate. Okay, so pretty much they're gonna. This is really to teach you about how everything works in EVE Online as far as kind of fleet commanders and fleets. They're telling us not to go unless they get an order. It's peaceful negotiation. We're supposed to stand back. Really, this particular tutorial is pretty much going to be kind of rehashed by whatever corporation you go into. If you go into a large corporation that does a lot of fleet command, they're going to tell you how they do it. So this isn't of all the tutorials, this one's I guess good if you don't have any experience and you want to just set up a fleet with friends. And it's basically just telling you that you're not supposed to attack, which I just realized I just started moving at the person. How I cut speed. Oop, stop the ship. It's just a wait here. We get the... Yep, there we go. Alright, now we're automatically approaching, and let's turn on our... So basically what the idea is that it's about prioritization. It's about like, hey, your mission is to just go grab this object and leave. It's not to fight these guys. That's not your job. You got to do this other thing. It's basically, this particular tutorial is just gonna... It's gonna be most useful for people who have, I guess, very, very, very little familiarity with similar games.
Warp drive active.
But most people are going to be all right with it. Are going to be pretty much be able to pick up from it, or your corporation that you join. If you join a big corporation, will have its own way of doing it. It basically just is letting you know there is a fleet command. I think at one point there was a little bit of a more extensive tutorial about it with a drone hive, where it actually had a full-on fleet going to attack at the... basically that's where you end up sacrificing your ship, if I remember, in that one. Or your ship could just get exploded by the drone hive. But I don't know whatever happened to that one. Alright, so let's go ahead and request another mission. The Web of Fire. Now this is the one, ironically, that we brought the Web of Fire with us at a wrong time. This is the time we needed the Web of Fire. Wonder if we still left it equipped. No, we did not leave it equipped. That's fine. Sweep down to the Web of Fire. Stasis Web of Fire. Because we needed to bring the warp and we ended up bringing a stasis. It's a double slot, so...
There is already something in that location.
So it's in a mid slot. I need to take something out. I'm going to do the extender because we're not going to get attacked. And there we go. And we'll just throw the extender back on after we after the end of this. We accept the mission, right? I think I'm denying like every mission. Hold on. I think 2 denials will give you a negative. Let's really quickly check that we aren't just constantly denying their stuff and getting a negative relation. No, we're doing all right. Yeah, I can't really say what's going on with that. All right, so either way, let's go ahead and go. And webify this person. You don't need to destroy them, if I remember correctly. You just need to webify them. Now, webifiers, in context of how you'll be using this in gameplay, is going to be predominantly used for basically slowing someone down who's using... Okay, so let's say you have a artillery ship. Your friend is in a very large artillery ship. Large ships tend to have bad tracking. Artillery has bad tracking. So compound the two. Large ships with artillery can get absolutely ran circles around. Oh, there is a pirate here. Oh yeah, this is the one we need to get the Weber going on. You can do that at 10 kilometers. And obviously, like sometimes you go to these different places, and sometimes they have useful mining things. Like this one actually has some scordite here, which if we had brought if we had come in a venture and thrown a fire on, or something that could mine, or if we had a mining module, that would have been pretty profitable because scordite. Scordite is pretty much. I think sometimes it sells more than Feldspar. Well, actually, I'll see how it's doing right now, cost-wise. Scordite. It's compressed scordite. Condensed scordite. We just went normal scordite. There we go. It's selling, like, if you got a few thousand, you can get some nice, off that, some nice money off that. It's not a lot. Obviously, I think the one we found that gives you low sec materials is probably better. But if some of these have like early game stuff you could sell. Oh, we do not want to actually do that. We want to do that. Actually, we need to close the distance a little bit more. Oh yeah, we need to change the default orbit too. Because we changed that for one of the earlier ships that we did. There we go. So within 10 km, we can activate the. Let's go ahead and get the afterburner on, and then do the stasis web of fire. For some reason today, I'm not using the hotkeys. Oop, a little bit too far away. There we go. That's all we needed to do. Now we can go right back out of here. It might take a second. Okay, there we go.
Warp drive active.
He's not going to be able to do anything to us before we're able to get out of here. Nice and easy. This one's pretty simple. But I should get into what you'll use stasis web of fire for. So stasis web of fire, if you want if a small ship is absolutely running circles around a ship with terrible tracking, because the smaller you are, the harder it is going to be to track onto you. Smaller and fat and more lateral motion. If you're moving perpendicular to them, or hold on. if you moving perpendicular to their aim, I should say, not to them, but to their aim. So if they're shooting in a line and you're moving across that line rather than toward them or away from them, or toward the gun or away from the gun, if you're going basically left to right of the gun, it's going to have to track you. And if a stasis web fire will slow them down to make tracking a little bit easier, or just simply make it harder for them to escape. There's other things like in ganking and stuff like that. But if you're going to use it in combat, lateral movement would be the thing you're stopping. But oftentimes, I've seen anything that stops people, like warp disruptors, stuff like that, stasis web fires, anything like that, I often see them used by people who either want to gank or PvP or stuff like that. Generally, I've never really seen them in anything other than that. Alright, so let's go ahead and complete the mission. So don't feel like you've got to be an absolute expert. Kernite is the one that I was thinking of. The Kernite is the one that's really, really, really good that you can get from one of the tutorial missions. And as you can see here, we have we have 4 million worth of ISK of Kernite, and that was from the one mission we did, which was really nice. So look out for what rocks are around in missions, and if you know that the mission is going to give you in an area is going to give you something you want material-wise, take the bare minimum that you need to defeat it and focus on getting that material. So now we're going to get the Cormorant here. Now we could either go in the Cormorant, or we could go in our really powerful frigate here because we've really spec'd it out. Now, normally the reason why I wouldn't necessarily dissuade you from doing a powerful frigate even though it might seem as a waste, is because then you can do this mission a little easier rather than having to use a Comrade. But not everyone is going to have the ability to fly the Comrade when you finish this mission. So I'll show you real quickly. In order to be able to do the, let's see, skills. So right now I'm Omega, so I'm learning skills a little differently than if you were a non-Omega account or Alpha account. So if we go down to where is it? Ship command. There we go. You need to get Caldari cruiser. Otherwise, you can't fly the actual. Or not cruiser. Caldari destroyer. Otherwise, you can't actually fly the destroyer itself. So you may not have researched it, especially if you're trying to do something industrial and you're just going through these missions to fund yourself. You may not have the research worked through. So I'm going to try to do it in the frigate, just to show you it's possible. And it should be fairly doable in a frigate like this. Once you get that extender on, or back on. Go to the fitting. We do not need the weapon fire. So basically in this fight, people are going to run away from you. The head character, the head, I don't know exactly, the head Garista, or the head pirate, is going to pretty much shoot missiles at you and go away from you. While you have, at least the pirates here will shoot missiles at you. Which, it may be different in the other tutorials. I mostly do Caldari, so it'll probably be different in different ones, but I'm not entirely certain. So let's get that on there. Oh, there you go. We should be able to do this fairly easily because we're a long-range fighter. So we're going to be fighting pretty close to the maximum range anyway of his rockets. So he's not going to really be able to run away from us all that effectively. And also we have we do have really great power regeneration, which means we can pretty much leave our capacitor regenerations, which means we can pretty much leave the afterburner on for a good amount of time. Alright, so let's go ahead and warp to the location.
Warp drive active.
And we can also leave the shield booster on. And as you can see, we got a ton of capacitor flux coils. There's many builds out there. This is just one I got based off what was convenient at the station at the time. So I just got pretty much whatever I could find that was modestly priced at the time I got it, and at the same time. Okay, 3 scanner hostiles. Okay, so this is going to be the toughest fight that you're going to face. We got the 2 trainees and the leader. So we need to target onto him first, and then get these other ones. So let's go to the terrorist leader and fight them. So we want to maybe orbit. Okay, our max range was, our optimal range is at 24. So we're gonna just say, keep it range. We don't want to do orbit because we don't want him getting lateral movement to his advantage. And rockets lateral movement isn't going to help us. Let's get our shields up and going. The shield's a bit late. Actually, we could group these weapons. I think we did something to ungroup them. Oh, I can't group them while they're active. Don't worry, we can group them later on. I think we replaced one in one of the missions to put something on it. Okay, we got him. Now we can destroy these other ones. So unfortunately, the worst part about doing long range though is that you just see the blips disappear from the horizon. That's pretty much the extent of what you see. So as you saw, we took them out. We took out the blip that was that small wreck over there. We don't need the engine going. The engine uses a bit of our resources. Quite a bit of our resources. And we can group these weapons as soon as we finish off this last person. So long range, I'd recommend to most people. Short range, to some degree, short range is simpler because you don't have to worry about tracking. But to me, I actually find that even though that it's kind of a trap for newbies, because you don't end up having a way of dealing with a situation. It's like you have most situations it's going to be obvious what you need to do, but you won't have many tools to do it. So if someone's webifying you, or if someone's slowing you down, or someone's really stopping you from doing what you need to do, and just like hitting you from missiles from a distance, there's really no way to retaliate. You pretty much have won or lost. I personally rather recommend having the ability to always be involved in a fight as a newbie, just so it's better for morale. Having somebody thrash on you and not being able to fight back, I think, while technically you know, if someone built perfectly destroy you anyway, they're going to do it either way. But I think getting some hits in is wondrous for morale. You can at least know you did something rather than absolutely being shut down. Okay, let's loot all. Oh, got a little bit of a compact shield recharger. Okay, let's head back.
Warp drive active.
Which I think that can't be really ignored. Hold on, let's throw that. Throw that in this one. Turn off the shield booster. So all these are increasing our our capacity regeneration, and I believe at the cost of the capacity size.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Which the way I typically do things, and this is just me personally. There's not many things AI wise that mess with your capacitor that I've run into. I've rarely had trouble. Obviously, that depends on what you're doing. So I generally just try to outweigh whatever I have running. Okay. Now I will show you the Cormorant. So we did that with a frigate. So it is possible with a frigate. I would again recommend, since it's going to try to slow you down, I'd recommend something that can shoot a distance. So for these guys, it's railguns. For Galente, you could do drones. The Tristan is a great one, unless anything's changed that I don't know of. But the Tristan is a great drone carrier. You could even do the Heron for the Caldari if you wanted to do drones. If you want to do artillery is an obvious one for. What was their name? I have to remember. Let's go to ships. Minmatar. Keep getting them. Minmatar and Amar are tongue twisters to me for some reason. Their names are pretty similar. But the Minmatar, now Minmatar could theoretically play it to the just run at them real quick. If you're going to do that strategy, I recommend Minmatar ships. Just because they are kind of intended to do that. They're intended to kind of go up close and use projectile weapons. These projectile weapons are either really fast, or really up at close, or really far away. They can actually get access to some missiles, which is cool. Now, the only problem is that if you try to armor tank, that's going to slow you down. So, there is a little bit of conflict there, but they can do shields. So, just watch out if you do armor tanking with them. It's going to slow you down. Amar also has some options, too, as well. But, Minmatar, if anyone's going to run up and charge against someone, Minmatar might be the one to do it. But again, things may have changed since I've done these starter missions for the other factions. So mostly I'm familiar with Caldari ships. So let's go ahead. Now we're free of the tutorial now. We're actually free of the tutorial. We can kind of continue on with our story. So pretty much to do a little bit of a recap, Omar Lucassen here was basically made to be the security of the security professional of the corporation. What we're gonna have to do is we're gonna take all the stuff with us, all the stuff we can with us, and we're gonna just pretty much go ship by ship. Now the thing is, you can get what's called a Corvette. You can see born by Corvette. Now we sacrificed the last one, so we'll get a complimentary Corvette here. Our last one was destroyed, so we can get a Corvette at the station where we dropped this off, and you can kind of take them back and forth, or you can just use your pod. You don't need to actually use the Corvette. That's just a something you can do if you want, if you're wanting to. You could always use the pod. We might even use the pod. Well, we'll probably just use the Corvettes. All right, so we got this active. Now, actually, hold on. We do actually have. I just realized we do actually have a ship hangar with a Badger. If I remember correctly, the Badger can carry some of these ships. Let's make that active. So we might try to show some freighting today. How you could go about carrying ships if you don't want to have to go one by one. So we'll do that. We'll show you how to carry some ships. So we want to carry our Merlin. We can't close our Merlin, so we'll have to come back and get the Merlin anyway, with probably a Corvette. So let's transfer our other ships first. We got this extra Merlin we can transfer, and you can see that takes up pretty much most of our space. We might not be able to fit another ship. No. Oh, it needs to be a unassembled ship too. So we could do the shuttle. Oh, the shuttle is something we could also use to come back on, and I could show off the shuttle a little bit because you won't see the shuttle much otherwise. So let's take the shuttle with us. Why not? It's got how much space left? Not much at all. 2,500. Now there is actually, hold on, an item we have that should actually increase our size of our cargo bay. So let's check it out. Don't worry about overdrive injectors. They increase your speed, but they don't increase your warp speed, and that's all that's going to matter for us. It's going to be a little bit of a crawl. Otherwise, you'll see as we go along that warp is a much better focus for anything freighting. Expanded cargo hold. Here we go. So let's just throw these on here. They're really the main thing you need on these things. Some defense could help, but we're not going to worry about that. We're just jumping one over. And over-investing can be a problem too, because this thing isn't going to be really winning any fights. Tier 1 industrials typically get destroyed quite frequently, so I wouldn't put too much stock on them. Okay, so okay, we got a lot more room. So let's go to the ship hangar. Believe it or not, we could actually take the comm out. Oh no, hold on. We would have to leave something behind to take the comm out. I was excited for a second there. Can't take another Badger. Take a Merlin. Let's see what we can fit in here. It's like a Jenga puzzle sometimes. Imagine trying to fit all these ships inside these things. Okay. Let's strip fit that. Strip fitting. Okay, and it doesn't have any inventory if I remember correctly right now. We'll move all the inventory out real quick. Heron to the item hangar. Now you can do this for other people actually. So let's. I've already strip fitting it. Let's do it one more time to make sure. And let's go ahead. Now, you could just sell them if you don't want them, but we're going to just try to take all these with us. Or at least we might take one grouping of them. Selling them isn't that bad of an idea, to be honest. Tier 1 industrials you can sell for a decent amount of money. So it might give you kind of a big boost. As you can see, the Badger here is selling for an absolute ton. Or, oh boy. Someone's asking way below asking price. View market details. The thing is, our other character is the economic person, so... Oh, some people are paying way more at the station. So let's check highest price. Highest price, sorry. My gosh, is someone buying it for 9 million? We'll sell that. That's a good price. They're only buying one. So go ahead and do that one. Oh no, he's selling it for 9 million. My bad. I'm looking at the wrong side. Highest buyer is pathetically low comparison. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I was gonna say that would. I don't think anyone's gonna buy that 9 million. Sorry. We can at least get 1 million off of that, so we'll just have to worry about that later. We'll fit everything we can in here. How much more space do we have? Let's make this active. Hold on. It is active, actually, isn't it? Oh, for some reason we didn't make it active. Hold on, let's make that active again. I think we accidentally made the heron active again. Okay, so we got a good amount more room. Let's make that heron repackaged. And I think we might be able to carry that with us. It's a bit too short. You know what? We're not going to carry the shuttle for the moment. We're just going to carry the heron. There we go. We've almost got full thing, and then we can take some items. Kernite, how much is this doing here? And we don't have like a really great refinery here, but we do want to bring it anyway. This is much too much. So we're going to have to wait here. Leave it here for a moment. The best thing for transporting that particular thing will be other ships. So let's go ahead and will be the Venture. So let's go ahead and undock and then do some freighting. Do some freighting our ships to where our corporation will want to be. Which will be in Archeo. Because we want to kind of be near the beginner area for the moment. Now what you want to do is you want to do warp to gate or jump to gate. You don't want to let it auto anything. You want to just jump straight to gate. Don't do autopilot, especially when you're freighting quite a bit of stuff. I actually wouldn't recommend freighting in anything. And I wouldn't recommend freighting in anything other than a starter area if you're going to use a tier 1 industrial. Anywhere outside of here will probably be suicidal. Okay, we want to go to, I think there. Warp within 0.
Warp drive active.
I think it was a light-eye assembly plant. Can't remember exactly. We'll warp around a little bit. kind of regretting letting go of that corporate office. This looks familiar. I think this is it.
Docking permission requested.
I think this is the right one. It could be wrong, but I think this is the right one. Worst case scenario, we're within the same system. The only other one I think it could be would be this other moon. I think we're on the right moon. It's either corporation factory or protection services plant. I'll be able to tell from the agents. Okay, dude, do not really care about us right now. We're the only guests. Offices, there's a lot of offices here. This is not actually it. So yeah, this is the wrong one. This is the Light Eye Protection Services, where I think it's the other one. Same, right moon, wrong, we're caught. I think we're Akio 7. But we're at that one. So warp within 0 meters. That's what you want to stick to.
Active.
You won't have to worry about pretty much anything else if you do that, because your actual movement speed isn't going to be that big a deal. If you can get it freely, like I could theoretically just have a afterburner just to have one. But right now I'm just gonna use this here just to show off the basics of freighting. Generally, you want to get into smuggling ships or blockade running ships, I should say. Blockade runners with stealth capabilities will be your kind of ideal freight oriented ships. I want to say this is right. Let's check the research or industry. As long as there's an industrial place and a science place, I think it's right. We have some blueprints still running over there. That's fine. By me, owned by my corp. There we go. Oh, all facilities. Blueprints found. Not owned facilities. All inventories, all blueprints, all groups? Let's just do owned by me. Yeah, we're in the right corp, right? Owned by corp. Yeah, I think we may have taken our blueprints out. So hold on, let's check out our industry. Owned by corp. Can be used for manufacturing or research. That's the one I think it is. I think that's the one. Set destination. Wait, is that the jump? Is that the one we're at? Because that means we're at the right one. I think it is. Add waypoint. Set destination. Show info. Actually, I think that is the one we're at. So this is, we call Archeo 3, Moon, Archeo 7, Moon 3, Light Eye. Yeah, okay, this is it. We're at the right one. Because we have a security, and R&D, yeah, we do have the R&D. So we're at the right place. Let's drop off the ships. When we let go of the corporate office in order to save some money, we caught, I think we, technically made it a little harder to find out where we're supposed to be. Ooh, another guest is around. Sundot. Okay, we can really quickly set our, now that we got that in there, this is a little trick that I do, is set destination there. And we know where we're going. So all we need to do is come up here, warp within 0, and then we can just jump. Don't worry, it might look like we're about to just teleport into here, but we're good. I think we're technically blocking that guy a little bit. He came out at an inconvenient time. Sorry. Sorry, Rusty stop sign. He is kind of being a stop sign a little bit right now, isn't he? But so are we. I had to go the other direction. Don't worry, going through the ship won't kill you. I really like the design of the ships in EVE Online. I have to really give them credit for it. It's really one of my favorite parts about the game is just seeing the ships and just all the design of all like even like the different factions and everything. And I like the Caldari some of the most. I like the Caldari the most, but I do like the Galente, and I like and I think for me, Minmatar and Amara are both tied. For the same reasons why the other one's very, very, very great if you're trying to be really kind of gaudy, like really kind of shiny and stuff like that. Really great for that. The other one's also really great if you're trying to play kind of like a scavenger, salvager kind of style look. So they're both kind of on both ends of the spectrum, and I like them both for that. But I think that the Caldari and Galente, to me, are the top two for me of the actual playable factions. Then there's Amar and Minmatar, and then for all like I like the Sisters of Eve ships. They're pretty nice. There's some like for the alien ships or the sun, like things like the Sunesis or stuff like that. I guess not alien, but the Jode. I think the Sunesis is Jode. You can do a quick check. It's where the ship browser comes in. Ship tree. There we go. Well, there's Sansa's nation, but I don't think they have kind of a neat look. They kind of got the Galente kind of style look with like the Imicus. They have that the Galente has. The Imicus, Uncursed. Oh no. I thought they had a ship that looks. The Incursus looks kind of similar, but it's actually a little different. Might be again mixed up with something else. Kind of has a similar look to the Incursus, albeit a little bit varied. Some of them are similar, like the Worm is very much like the Merlin. Sisters of Eve have really nice looking ones. And you got Edencom and Travailing Collective, which I have not messed with these pretty much almost at all. These are kind of variations. All the pirates are going to be kind of variations for the most part. And some of them have some pretty neat looking ones. Which that one looks kind of like a variation on the Amar a little bit. Kind of the pointy. Oh yeah, it's got like kind of a point to them. Which are really cool. And then you got the Minmatar and stuff like that. So there's a lot of, which kind of come off as like where they almost look like they have solar sails. Which are really neat. But that's kind of all kinds of things. I don't remember where the Sunesis falls in again, but it's one of the ones that you got for that they gave away, and I happened to get a Sunesis, which was pretty neat. Let's go ahead and restock on ships. Oh, we got a mail. Wonder who we got mail from. From corporate. No, Eve mail. Eve is funner with Brent. I'm guessing that's. I'll read that afterwards. I don't know if they're expecting. So if you see that, I'm gonna read it after the stream because I don't know if that's something you want to read on the stream. So I will wait until after the stream to actually read that mail. But so let's go ahead and go with the more ships. But yes, it is true that corporations can make it pretty fun. So let's go ahead and drag. We want to venture. Come with us. Oh, it's an assembled ship. Hold on. I'm dragging the assembled one. We need to drag the drag the unassembled one. I think the Badger's just too far big, like far too big. Yeah, there's no way we're gonna be able to take the Badger. We could sell the Badger though. We could try to sell it for cost. In fact, I will. I will try to sell it for cost. Let's go ahead and it cost. I think because we got it for free, so we're just making a profit no matter what. And we really don't need another one because we're not really planning to do free. Oh, hold on. I mean, for some reason, it wasn't letting me put. Oh, it was I put a point, I think. So it costs estimated 1160 and 3 more zeros. That's about. Believe it or not, even the estimated price is not what it's getting sold at, so we're going to actually kind of undercut it a little bit. We don't need to get all our money back. Let's probably try to take it down to best regional price, average regional price. Let's take it down to 1 million. I don't think we're going to go best price is 19 units. Or best regional price. Okay, that is pretty. We will go with the best regional price. How about that? So 830, and we just will cut off the end. Or let's just do 800,000. Whoop. So that's a little bit of a profit on whoever can. What do you call it? We're not selling it quite at the price that it needs to be, but 19 units. Oh, 19 units, 4 jumps away. I thought it was 19 jumps away. We can actually kind of demand a little bit more. What's the sellers? What's everyone selling it here for? You think you can mess around about 25% over or under, and you generally will do all right. That's at least what I've heard from others. And I've had luck with it. So, sellers. Yeah, actually, if we sell 800,000. So, let's check station. What's the best station price? Okay, so 1 million would not be that terrible. Let's go with 1 million. That's the cheapest price at this station. There we go. 1 Badger for 1 million. And throw it up there for 3 months. Yes. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and sell a Caldari shuttle because someone might just want to. I was going to show it off, but I don't think we really need to. It's pretty much dirt cheap. If we can actually, if there's actually a buyer, I'll sell it to the buyer direct. It's not worth the trouble. So one person's buying it now. That's a little bit. It's a bit low. What's the value of it? 21,000. I'm not really seeing it. Most people were selling it for at least 19. Some people were selling it for more than that. I'll go for his price, 10,000. So that's pretty much going for half. It's a fire sale here. So we'll go for 10,000 because that's a pretty fair price, I think, just for convenience. Okay, so we'll sell one for 10,000, and we'll have for 3 months. Sell one item, yes. That's fine. We just want to get rid of it. Let's go ahead and strip fit these things. Strip fit here. We're gonna have to come back for the Merlin with a Corvette. and then we'll just leave the Corvette behind. Because we could just take the pod, but we'll take a Corvette. This way we're not spawning tons of Corvettes, which feel a little bit sketchy. Alright. Let's go ahead and bundle this up. So we strip fitted it. It has nothing in its inventory, right? Don't want to throw away any inventory. Let's throw that into item hanger. We'll leave everything in there. Take some of these items out, though. Oh, actually, I think we just sold it. We just made a bunch of money, so we... Oh, maybe not. We'll worry about that later. So let's go ahead and get the Venture in here. Oh, we already did. We just need to get the other Venture in now. Repackage. And oh, it's insured. Whatever, we'll take it. Having a second Venture is actually pretty helpful. Is then hold on. Let's go ahead and throw the Comron in there. 5,000 units. It would take a full, basically almost our full inventory. And we've already used pretty much most of the inventory. So we'll have to do one more trip for the Cormorant, and then one more trip to get the other one back, and we'll leave a Corvette in the starter area, which feels really appropriate. So let's undock. This way we only take out one Corvette. I would not... if you want to kind of not... I guess feel cheesy. I'd have cheesy about like that you're cheesing the free Corvette. I'd stick to that policy. I'd never take more than one Corvette. You can, and I think before, when I didn't know how to navigate, I ended up needing a lot of complimentary Corvettes because I ended up flying all around the EVE universe. With like pretty much, I think most of the map, I think with the exception of Amar. I gave up on trying to go to Amar because it just looked too busy at the time. So I went everywhere but the Amar space and into nullsec or stuff like that. I went a tad bit into lowsec. I avoided it a little bit. Let's go to Archeo set destination and come through Stargate.
Warp drive.
Hold on. Actually, I didn't want it to do. Oh, I want to see if that's actually going to take us to 0. I have a bad feeling it won't. Might take us to a few kilometers away. If you do jump to 0, that's the perfect ideal. But I kind of was curious to see. I've never done that particular button. So I'm curious to see if this will drop us to 0. No, it's not going to drop us to 0. See, that's the problem if you don't... oh, actually, hold on. That wasn't much of a jump. So I guess it did kind of drop us to basically 0. Now warp within 0.
Warp drive active.
And we'll go from there. And we'll dock, and then we'll do we'll get everything unloaded, and we'll do one more trip. I think we have time for one more trip, and then we need to get the other one, or we have room for one more trip. To get the Cormorant, which is kind of funny thinking about putting it the whole Cormorant, which is significantly wider than the ship, down into here, but obviously you're compressing the materials. You're compressing them down to where they'll fit. And I actually believe that the Tier 1 Industrial for... We're not docking?
Docking permission requested.
Okay, there we go.
Request accepted.
But the Tier 1 for Caldari, I think, has the most space of all of them. But I think it's the worst in all the other categories. It's one of the best spaces, I think. Okay, let's drop the Ventures in here. Okay, and just undock. That's pretty much how most of your ship moving will go. Once you start moving into more dangerous areas, expect it to be a little more difficult because people will blow you up. We're kind of in a safer space, a safer area because we're pretty much going from one newbie zone to another, or just a step out of it. What's going on over there? Oh, someone's a suspect? Is that it? Something's going on over there. Let's go ahead to Ogvenius, set destination, and pretty much just follow it back and forth. Space trucking at its finest. That's pretty much what it is. Now we're basically, if we had to compare ourselves to a space truck, we're basically a pickup truck compared to what you can get, or just a small, like, or I guess you could argue, I don't know, but like one of the Galente ones really look like actual, like a literal space truck, and I know a lot of people tend to like that one. If I can remember where to ship. Here we go. Ship tree. Go to Galente. Go to industrial. A lot of theirs look like literal space trucks, like the semi-front kind of, and a lot of people like the obelisk. So you got all these here. Stuff like that, and you have the shuttle. But generally this, like any of the first ones, like how I have the Badger and stuff like that, are kind of to some degree traps. Because they're going to not, many people will be looking for you to blow up. That is what is most expected. For Gankers, Gankers are going to want to blow you up if you're a tier 1 industrial.
Warp drive active.
And because generally the idea is that you're probably carrying a lot of valuable stuff and don't know much better. So watch out for that. And because that's generally what they prey upon. Now shuttles can sometimes, if you really, shuttles generally they get left alone, but sometimes if you come off as too suspicious, or even in a something with like a blockade runner, if you come off as too suspicious, they may attack you even though with a blockade runner they can't see what you're carrying. Just with the idea that you might be carrying something good, but you could be on your way back after dropping it off and then end up getting blown up because they think you've got something useful on you. Which is not something I fortunately not something I've had to endure. Which I imagine could not be fun. Alright, so we'll go back, and then we'll come back with a Corvette, just one of the Corvettes, commonary Corvettes, and then that way we can take what we need. And oh, actually, hold on, we almost forgot the inventory. Let's dock.
Docking permission requested.
Oh hey, why aren't black hole storage included? Station container. It's a glorified station container. Oh, you're just using it at a station. Just having it hold stuff at the station.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, but let's go get back docked real quick. Yeah, the Badger is the problem is that you become a target in like areas where there's no danger. If you're doing the Badger, then what we did early on in the series, checking around where people have been potted, kind of like why I typically, as you can see, I leave my map on escape pods destroyed. That is how I can tell typically. So as you can see, I would never go with a tier 1 industrial in anywhere that isn't gray, unless you're really certain, unless you're friends with whoever is actually ganking people, and then then the problem is, or then you know that you're safe. But unless you're working with the gankers, I would never go through one of those areas with a tier 1 industrial. It's just a bad idea. But you could get away with it, because I've gotten away with it. In like if you watch the map, you can watch it if you watch the map. Pay attention to times. There's actually a website just gate check, like it's called gate check or something like that. It's been a while since I checked it because we've been in the kind of these areas, which are relatively safe. Now we can't. The reason why we can't just compact the ship is because it has rigs on it, really expensive rigs, and we do not want to have to rebuy them. So let's take everything we can from the item hanger and just drop it on. Everything we can. Doesn't have to be important. We're just taking everything we can. We can come back later for the rest of the stuff. Anything they can carry. And then let's go ahead and stack all. Which is pretty much everything but the Kernite. Because that which makes sense because it doesn't have an ore hold. We'll have to come back with something with an ore hold to carry the rest of it. Actually, since we are going to come back with something with an ore hold, let's drop all the rest of the ore back. And just take all this other stuff. And then take whatever we can take from here. There we go. Believe it or not, we'll end up having to leave some of this stuff behind. We'll try to take some with the Merlin. Let's go ahead and undock. Again, this kind of rampaging freighting is not. Or yeah, you could just use something. You could use something. You could just. You could. There's definitely a lot of ways to get stuff to different places. You can also just hire a freighter too. You could just hire a freighter, and depending on what you're freighting, that might be the best decision. Let's go ahead and jump real quick. We have another ship absolutely merging with us at this point. Oh, okay, never mind. It looked much more imposing. Never mind. It looked much more imposing from the other angle we were at. But blockade runners is what most people use. Anything blockade runners, which is going to be... Whoop. Oh, I did pilot management. Let's go ahead and set that to dock, or jump. Go into ships, ship tree. Any blockade runner is going to be up in here. What are we looking at? Ah, here we go. So, where is it going to be? Transport ship, roll bonus, covert ops. So the covert ops and immune to cargo scanners. So like the Viator, or for the Caldari, you got the Crane. Mimitar, you've got Prowler, and Amara, you've got the Prorator, which are all immune from cargo scanners, which could work. But you could also just use covert ops interceptors, or covert ops to carry stuff, but you're not going to carry much in those. And stuff like that. So in this case, you got like the interceptors here. The Caldari ones I wouldn't necessarily say are super great. Just because it has travel scepters. A lot of people call if you do that, it's called like a travel scepter. Ooh, we've been just sitting in space. That's probably not a smart idea.
Warp drive active.
Oh, on the pilot right now? Skill points? We're sitting at... So this is a pilot we made just for the stream. So we've only played him on stream. I have left skill points on him, though. He's sitting at 2.5 million skill points, total skill points, right now. Now this guy isn't designed to do freighting. He's only freighting his stuff here, and then from then on he's gonna be the security officer. We have another character who's kind of running the operations of our little corporation. This guy is all designed for combat, so he's got all like Starship Command, gunnery, things like that. Production-wise, this guy has virtually nothing. We've got a little story going on. We've got a corporation of brothers We got Omar Lucassen. We got Droom Lucassen. And we may get more family. We call it, throw some more family members in like a little family business. We call it little characters we'll make, and kind of have different roles for them. I'm thinking of making one more because the one's kind of the face of the company, and this one's the security. Even though the face right now is doing all the industrial jobs, I might make another one just for the industrial jobs. Just so that we have a little more story to it. Let's go ahead and drop all this off. But pretty much we're doing kind of like a relaxed kind of story stream, or kind of like a story kind of style of business. We're trying to get a production business up and running. We actually have a lot of, once we actually get to the production episode, it's going to be pretty nice, I think. We have a lot of stuff that we can build. I've literally gotten every Caldari. Well, I've already collected all Caldari, every Caldari frigate recipe that isn't the tier 2, and then research that up with just these newer characters. And I just need to work from there to get like to higher tiers. On my main, I'm not entirely sure. I've switched a lot. I would say I have one character that's Galente. That I argue is my main, and I have no idea how many skill points he has. But I just know that he was an alpha clone for a long time. But if I had to go into skills, so I would say Droom is probably double of what Omar's at, because he's pretty much twice as old. But both Droom and my main both have gone into sciences. They're both exploration. Kind of sciences, researching, scanning. I think I've got pretty much everything worked out with my main. I think I've got every kind of scanning, everything in shields and drones. For the most part. Most everything for shield and drones. And I think I had, for a little while, I went into a lot of the ECM stuff. And all the trade I could go into. Droom is almost entirely done with trade. Droom's almost entirely done with, and not just the trade here, but everything that you unlock. He's almost done with all of it. So he's got a lot of it. Exact numbers, I'm not entirely sure, though. Because that's what his main thing is going to be, corporation management and trade. And he's got some science, so he's got enough to do all the researches. But beyond that, I don't know the exact amount of points I have. I might actually when I come in for Droom's, I might show off his, once I do the next episode, next stream, because we're going to get into more production. I'm going to try to, I'll show off Droom and see how everyone likes Droom. I actually sent mail from Droom, because since we're doing kind of an RP, kind of like right here. Kind of informal, though. It's an automatic message. It's sent to all the company. As you can see here. Which is kind of really cool. But since we're doing kind of an RP build, I haven't been worried too much about paying attention exactly where they're sitting at. We're just enjoying the story. This is the more kind of a more relaxed one. But if you see Droom or Omar going around, then say hi. You can feel free to say hi, or send a mail saying hi, because both of them are mostly. If I'm playing them, then if I'm playing Omar, he's stream only. I've dedicated him to stream only. I don't play him outside of the stream. The only thing I do is set his skills. Droom, I set him to. I'll play him independently, and then I have my main, which I think I was getting in on my account at one point. I haven't mentioned my main's name yet, but I think he came up at one point in one of my streams. So I'll keep him mostly under wraps, just so that that because he's not really part of the story. And just so that I can play to some degree, some degree, not covertly, but what do you call it? I have a few other what do you call it characters I've had in the past that you can make alts as long as they're Omega. Pretty much, it's like if you have Omega, you can make multiple alternate accounts, unless that's changed for some reason. So I pretty much have a retirement home for them. I just set up characters I don't want to use anymore, but I don't want to cut off. I just make an account and just set them there. I don't play them unless unless I bring them back to the main account. We just retired someone to make these guys, because I had one open slot on this account, which is the main account I used to play, and I moved one off to make room for this one. So it's been a fun one though. But I'm gonna say goodbye for today. We've gone a little bit long for this stream. I think we got 12 hours. Not 12 hours. 12 minutes past 12 hours. 12 minutes past where we normally go. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Hope you found it educational. And see you all later. All right. Bye.